Welcome to a literature lecture with Professor Dennis. We're going to start, as always, with a screen share, and we're going to be looking at characters, character development, and character types. So first, we'll look at the definition and ways that they can be developed. We'll look at the dialogue, the actions, the authorial commentary, and character types. The definition of a character is the representation of a person in a literary work. There are numerous ways to develop characters. They include dialogue, action, authorial commentary, and setting. There are two different types of dialogue, internal and external. Internal dialogue reflects the character's thoughts, fears, desires, and more. It's not typically heard by the supporting characters. It's like the voiceovers that you would hear for the main characters in Resident Alien or Young Sheldon. The character knows about these deep thoughts, and we as an audience do as well, but the rest of the cast does not. And the external dialogue is audible and spoken oftentimes to those supporting characters. We have the purpose of dialogue, which is specifically to move the narrative along. That means that every aspect of dialogue is there for a purpose. It's meant to reveal important information to the audience about the narrative, the conflict, or the characters. The dialogue is also reflective of the characters, not only through the content, but also through the form. And what does that mean? Well, dialogue in a story can take the form of what we call dialect. Dialect is a spoken format that's mimicking verbal speech in the written form. This could be as simple as saying y'all and spelling it out, or it could be as complex as dropping a letter from a character's speech pattern. The actions will also add to character development. Actions are essentially what the character does. Their mannerisms should coincide, at least partially, with the type and form of their dialogue. That means that an antagonist who is brutally violent in action might have coarse speech, whereas the antagonist that's sneaky will have more manipulative rhetoric to get others to do his bidding. The protagonist, who is unwilling protagonist, will likely have speech that indicates their lack of confidence, whereas the protagonist who's confident in who they are and what they have to do might not speak much at all and be known as stoic. The authorial commentary is the view of the narrator. This is the point of view that we're given. It's sometimes known as the God's view. It's normally given through the third-person exposition. Some theories see this as the author's viewpoint of the actions itself, while other theories see this as the authorial persona, almost a character of its own, created in order to present the story to you. There are different types of characters that you will encounter in each piece of fiction. The first is a flat character. A flat character implies a person who's two-dimensional. They're fairly simple and probably unchanging. These are the characters who we encounter at the outset, but they're more or less the same from their first appearance as they are in their last appearance. A flat character usually appears early in the exposition of the story and reappears in order to provide information for others. If you're used to gaming terms, you would think of the flat character as the NPC. And if you don't know what an NPC is, try watching the movie Free Guy. He was an NPC on the outset of the movie. A round character is a three-dimensional character with depth and complexity. A round character is subject to change and might change significantly throughout the course of the story. These are typically your protagonists who grow exponentially throughout the arc of the narrative. However, there are some antagonists who show change throughout the story arcs too. Some of these, for worse or for better, maybe you can think of Harry Potter. And if you're a true Harry Potter fan, I'm talking about the books. Okay, if you could apply this level of analysis to Draco Malfoy, he does change and grow throughout the book. By the end of the final book, Harry and Draco even give each other a nod on the platform as they send their children off to the same school they attended all those years before, which is in complete contrast to how he's introduced in the very first book. A stock character is a highly typical or stereotypical character. They're recognized easily across storylines and genres because you've seen them so many times before. Think of the evil genius, the annoying know-it-all, the standard bully. They have little growth in the story, and they fit a definite stereotype. The final is the foil character. A foil is a character that is developed in conjunction with the protagonist, which means side by side. They share certain similarities, but are often contrasts in many ways in order to reveal information about the protagonist's journey. This is all I have for you on character types. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out. Catch you on the flip side.